Good evening. Good evening, viewers. Thanks for joining us. We're getting set up here. Jaime Battiste is on with government right now, so he's just a few minutes late, and that's okay, because you know what? We want to hear from you as viewers as well. How are you doing? Connect with us. Let us know in the comments where you're watching from. What's your concerns lately? What have you been thinking about? If you're a business owner, if you're a parent, a senior, let us know what's on your mind. And I think when we share those kind of connections, it really helps and gives something tangible, something that other people can resonate with. So even if there's no answers per se, just please feel free to comment to the side here. I can see your comments, even just a hello. Let us know where you're watching from and how the weather is in your area. I'm looking out right now to a beautiful view of the North Atlantic Ocean. My office sits right in front here in Madame. Very grateful for that. Gives me an everyday view of connecting with people globally. I see big tankers cross across the water, and it just kind of gives you that, I don't know, that virtual connection, but also something to look forward to daily. Right now on the water, I'm also looking at hundreds of lobster buoys. I don't know. I wonder if I can turn this around so that the viewers can see what I'm looking at. My camera doesn't have that feature, so mind me with the wobbly turnaround here, but I'd like you to see this. I'm going to give you a 360 here. So here's my view looking out. And I'm not sure if you can see the buoys on the water. So tomorrow morning, there's going to be quite a number of lobster boats bringing in their haul. So anyway, that's my view right now looking across. And thank you for joining us. All right, let's get started here. There we go. Let's set this up. This is the beauty of independent media sources, that I can do little things like that. All right, so let's acknowledge some of our viewers here while we're waiting for Jaime Battiste to come on. Hi, Corey Callow, hello from Edmonton, Alberta. Hope all is well. Yes, Corey, thank you so much for chiming in with us here. And tonight on our program, we get to speak, well, first of all, 7 o'clock is Jaime Battiste, local MP for Sydney, Victoria, and Cape Breton Island. And then at 7:30, here's an interesting show, broadcast. We talk with Cees. Now, Cees is a small business owner. He's been forced to shut down, of course, like many businesses during COVID. He runs a small antique shop on the mainland. I'm just going to take this comment off the screen here. He runs a small shop, and he bought an old abandoned church years ago, and he's fixing it up, of course, because he really enjoys that type of thing. And he put up garden lattice all around the church in Portapique. I hope I'm saying that right, Portapique. And he is putting up tributes that people are mailing from all over the world on this. So tonight at 7:30, after Jaime, he's going to be sharing some of those tributes from around the world. Because of course, as there's no words just needed to describe just how much grief that Nova Scotia has gone through the past few weeks. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for your support tonight. Thank you for watching and putting up comments of condolences or whatever you feel inclined to do. And I think I see MP Battiste now. I do. So I'm going to bring him on screen with me. Hi, Jaime. I know
How are you?
You are so busy.
Yeah, I was just finishing up National Caucus, and usually it's a lot of questions, but today was some very important information going on about just some of the things that were going on with our military, and my heart goes out to, it's an evolving situation there, but it's tragic news, and you're right, we've gone through so much in such a short time. It's definitely been a season of grief, it seems, in Nova Scotia and Canada, and we're doing our best every day to from our homes to figure out how we can coordinate our efforts and how we can show leadership in a time where normally I can go down and just talk to the minister or talk to one of the MPs, but now we're kind of limited by technology. And while it was it was good to see this week with us sitting virtual parliament. It also has its difficulties in reaching out and coordinating schedules.
I saw that. That was really interesting. I actually shared a post from one of the leaders there with the Zoom conference, and it's still a real step forward, though. I mean, that is really cool that Parliament is on screen, and I really enjoyed seeing that. So way to go. And I know Zoom is a new skill that a lot of people are learning. I'm learning so much about it, but thank you for sharing that with us. It'll be some time, but looking forward to the new developments with that. So speaking of new developments, Jaime, I know there's been a lot of tragic grief, and I don't want to go around that. I want to address that. But do you have any new updates right now for Cape Breton? I saw you put up some posts yesterday. Anything new that you want to share with the public that's watching?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I was really happy to see is, we've been hearing from the Canadian seafood industry and fishermen across Canada really concerned about this upcoming season. I've heard fishermen reach out to me and say, well, who's going out to restaurants and buying lobster now, or snow crab, and lobster and snow crab are kind of things that you do in gatherings. You want to share that. You want to, have it as a family, and there's just no big festivals or big events where people are purchasing this. But one of the things that we heard from very early from the fish processing plants is that they needed protective equipment, and some of the things that we've done right now is saying that we know that the market isn't there for that, but we put 62.5 million in what we call a Canadian Seafood Stabilization Funds. And these things, what we're really trying to do is increase the storage so that when our fishermen go out and get this lobster, or get the snow crab, get the ground fish, that they're able to store them and that they don't spoil, and we're not losing the season. Okay. People are still able to work. People are still able to, make sure that they get a reasonable price for their catch, because we don't want processors and plants and storage places just to say we can't buy anymore, but we want to give them the extra space to freeze and to have all of the fish that is well, not the fish, but the snow crab and the lobster, to be able to come in and make sure that it's stored somewhere. Also, we've done a lot to ensure that technologies are in place for safety and health measures for all the people working in these plants, to minimize risk to workers, making sure that we're reducing wasted food and supporting access to retail space and increasing consumers. Just everything to ensure that we're doing our best to with this fund. I know that there's a lot of fishermen out there that are still, what are we going to do for the fisheries? And for the most part time, I tell people to go on the CERB if they don't feel safe with fishing, but know that if they want to, they can make up to $1,000 on a boat without having to get off the CERB. And so that's something that they might take advantage of.
Get clawed back, yeah.
But the Prime Minister also stated yesterday on a call with the National Caucus that we are still looking at some options. The minister, she has 75 different zones and species to manage, and what we're doing is trying to figure out what we can do. We've had many people, including myself, advocate for the fishermen and saying, if they don't make enough this year, what are we going to do for them to ensure that they can go on, employment insurance? We just want to ensure that we're looking after everyone and making sure no one's left behind. And so it's evolving every day, and we continue to do that and continue to talk about that as a government. Also, we're making sure that students, we put out the student fund. I don't know if that was something that I was able to talk about last time, but we did put in place money for students. And what I've done is just every other day I go on Facebook and do a video and talk about the new programs and try to answer as many questions as I have from people. And you wouldn't believe how much information it gets thrown at us every day that we have to absorb and try to make sense of.
Inundated.
So for me, I've always been a person who, if I talk about it, if I have conversation about it, I'm better able to learn it and understand it and help others. And that's kind of why I do the videos, is because it's very much helps me when I talk about it on these videos to be able to talk about it when people call me with questions, or if I have to do interviews and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree, Jaime. I can't even imagine it's thrown a real curveball to a lot of people to have to not only learn new skills, but also learn so much about individual industries. And and there's only so much you can do at once. So I resonate, because even just as a humble media source here, to learn about things, it requires a lot of time. And so I can't even imagine what you've been inundated with. And you touched on the subject, and we won't get into it because there's a bunch of things we want to talk about tonight. But I mean, yeah, the fishermen are concerned. They want to know, as harvesters, what's in it, what to expect. So it's timing. It's waiting for the announcements to come down. I want to give a shout out of gratitude to Bernadette Jordan, her office, her staff. I did get a phone call yesterday. So, asking and inquiring about the media source and possibly coming on Ripple Effect. So thank you just for that. Thank you for hearing the voices of Cape Bretoners. It's a really trying, difficult time right now. So, and thank you for addressing that, Jaime. I wanted to ask you, small businesses, with many small businesses trying to plan their next move, has there been any discussion around the cruise ship season? Do you know?
One of the things that we've heard is that there's going to be an announcement for seasonal workers in the tourism sector. We haven't heard what that is going to be yet, but we do have people on the caucus that continue to advocate for that and say, what do we do? And the biggest thing is, we have this peak season, and I mentioned it to Minister Jolie this week, is that usually our peak season in Cape Breton is all about, the summer and the fall. And we have no indication right now that people are going to be traveling during those times, are going to be allowed to travel. And what about those seasonal workers who make all of their money during this period? And I did bring that out to her. And we do have more money coming in through various methods. ACOA is going to see more money in terms of, they haven't given us exact numbers yet, but that's something that we're looking at. And we do believe help is on the way. As things develop, and as we hear the situation, our government is putting in place the mechanisms to help all of the different industries, and so that's where we're at with that for now.
Okay. Yeah, because many of the retailers are closed and we're ineligible for the small business impact grant. So it'll be interesting to see the developments that come over the next few weeks. Now, and I know you don't have much time tonight because you've got to pop on a couple other meetings, but I want to make a special note of honor. There's been a lot of grief in Nova Scotia and also with the Indigenous communities, but also there's been some positive initiatives brought forth from the government. Do you want to highlight anything, Jaime, with the Indigenous communities that the government has put forth?
Well, I think
grants, initiatives. I'm trying to keep up with your wall, and sometimes I miss a few things.
Well, I think the biggest thing that we did is that a lot of is making sure that the eligibility criteria, a lot of the bands, especially like Member 2, you think about Member 2 and you think about the largest area of growth economically in Cape Breton. And so, but during this time, businesses were eligible, small businesses were eligible, but because bands are this hybrid between public office, but also corporate entities, that they weren't eligible. But we were glad to see on Saturday that there was an announcement saying that we are going to be able to help them. We are going to be able to, provide in the form of interest-free loans for these bands to help during these times. And one of the startling things that the chiefs brought to my attention, that I brought to the attention to the Prime Minister a few weeks ago, is that the own source revenue from things like gaming and tobacco and fisheries was in such a dire position where most communities were losing 70% of what they normally brought in, and that was affecting their ability on the ground to handle some of these things. For example, in Eskasoni, they have a crisis center for anyone who's dealing with mental health issues, that they can reach out and talk to someone in their language and talk to someone who understands them, culturally sensitive kind of mental health. And they rely entirely not on any kind of government grants, but own source revenues that came from the fisheries and from tobacco to cover that. And because of the fact that they don't have that coming in anymore, they were looking at, what do we do now? How do we keep these essential services going that are even more important in the COVID era and this grief that's happening all across, the Atlantic? And so these are things that we needed to step in and say, these are the programs that we're going to introduce so that you don't have to shut the door on essential services or things that are really important. And that's just some of the, big things with the announcements. And I continue to reach out to not only the Mi'kmaq leaders, but municipal leaders, provincial leaders, every week to make sure that we're talking about what can we do. The other industry that I talked to cabinet about is the creative economy, and myself and Mike Kellaway were on a call with musicians, people in the recording industry, people who are part of the setup and the sound, and saying, what about these people and what can we do? And there was $500 million announced for culture, sports, and heritage for some of these, and it's just trying to figure out how quickly we can get this out and how quickly we can get programs in place to help these people.
Now, just in closing here, Jaime, and I want to acknowledge our viewers. Again, we're not able to take any questions per se tonight, but I want to acknowledge Lynette Burke, Danelda McCaskill. I see your comment, John Forrest. I just want to see if there's Darlene DeVoe from Cape Breton, Joan Marie Walker from New Waterford, Corey from Edmonton. We see all the comments and questions, you guys. So just if you feel free to continue to post those. Now, Jaime, I just noticed in closing here, I just want to make reference to the update that Justin Trudeau just put out, regrettably, about the helicopter that did go down. And I was trying to pull it up, but do you have any updates for us on this situation?
I don't. I left the conference call that we were talking about to jump on this call because I didn't want to keep you waiting. But we do know that one person did lose their life, and I was listening to some of the media coverage, and they were some of them from Nova Scotia, as well as areas of Ontario.
From Nova Scotia.
So it's really, we're grieving, nationally. And, all I can do is think about all the people who are serving our country proudly in other places. And, our thoughts and our prayers are with them.
I really appreciate you taking the time out tonight to connect with us. Thank you so much. And please have a good evening.
All right. Thanks a lot, Rebecca. Stay safe.
You as well. And so that was MP Battiste from the Sydney Victoria riding, you guys. And when questions, feel free to post them on the side, because anyone that's on the show does get a copy of it sent to them as well. So coming up next, you guys, is a very touching show with Cees from mainland Nova Scotia. Cees, again, is a small business owner, and he works... his business was forced to close down. He took an old abandoned church and put up garden lattice around it. He bought an old abandoned church. And so the tributes that are coming in to the Colchester County is what he's going to be sharing with us. So stay tuned. If you want to put up your condolences in the comments. I did just get the update from Justin Trudeau's wall here. 4 members of the Royal Canadian Air Force and 4 members of the Royal Canadian Air Force and 2 members of the Royal Canadian Navy were on board the helicopter that crashed off the coast of Greece yesterday. We can confirm the loss of 1 life, and search efforts for the other 5 missing members continue. Our hearts go out to the loved ones of Sub-Lieutenant Abigail Brow, hope I'm saying that right. And while the search operation is underway, we're keeping the families and friends of the other members in our thoughts. And to all our Canadian Armed Forces members, we're thinking of you during this difficult time. And that was released 8 minutes ago with Justin Trudeau. So feel free to post your comments and condolences in the comments to the side. We'll be right back shortly. And thank you for watching. Thank you for staying engaged. It's not always easy topics that we bring to the table here at Ripple Effects, but we sure do appreciate you joining us. So we'll be back in a moment. I just realized I was on mute there for a couple comments. I just wanted to make note of some comments that were on here tonight. From Carrie Callow, hello from Edmonton. Hello, Carrie. Hello from Joan Walker, New Waterford. Beautiful and warm, sunny day here in Cape Breton. Did a little gardening. Great to be out of the house. Stay safe, peeps. Lynette Burke, we need to protect the fishermen. Darlene DeVoe, can't wait to have a good feed of lobster. I can't remember the last time we had lobster. It was probably a good year and a half ago. Why haven't they sent Donalda McCaskill? Why haven't they sent the lobster product that is in freezers now sent to grocery stores for domestic to make space for the fresh product coming in instead of investing in more freezers? John Forrest says the fishermen are being left behind, he feels, while other sectors are being given money. What happened to the conference call today? Lynette Burke would like to know. She's putting out there fish buyers. There's nothing. No one knows anything yet. So there we go. We are going to be up here with Cees in just a moment. I'm just going to take the comment off the screen. There we go. So I'm just getting ready for that. So viewers, on April 18th, 19th, there was a tragedy in Nova Scotia, and we are slowly but surely making our way through this. What has been amazing, truly, is to see the support globally come to Nova Scotia. I mean, I've been so deeply touched by everything that's being sent from all over the world. Now, where does all this go, right? A lot of people don't have media, some people do, but where does this all go? And how is the funnel of getting all of this information and support out to viewers and other people that need that right now, especially the families? How's it being done? So Cees, who I'm about to bring on, is a small business owner on the mainland Nova Scotia. He has a small antique shop, and he was forced to close during COVID, of course, like many businesses. And Cees is also a dad, so he's got a busy life. He's part of the team, the Cees Colchester support team, with others that are helping funnel and support of the communities that are involved in this. So Cees bought an old abandoned church, and he put garden lattice all around the church. And what he's doing is he's having people mail any tributes to the communities so that he can put them up. And tonight he's going to be sharing with us some of the touching tributes that have been sent from around the world. So please welcome our guest speaker here, Cees. Hi, Cees.
Hello. Now, how are you tonight?
How is your day? Good. How's your day going?
Not too bad. It was a beautiful sunny day. Much needed.
Awesome. So before we start, I was really touched by a gentleman in Cape Breton that did some photos in support of Colchester County, much like people did all over the world. And I was hoping, he's one of our volunteer reporters. And so I'd like to show them, if that's okay, just before we get started. And is that okay? Yep. to bring up some pictures here before we? I know I told you about our agenda, but I finally figured out how to share photos. So I'm just going to add this to the screen. Okay. So here are some photos done by Sean Francis Photography in Cape Breton. Now, Sean is one of our volunteer reporters. He does a show on Monday nights with bringing on musicians from around the world. And Sean also does photography. So he was invited to take part in doing the support photos from Cape Breton Island. And I just wanted to show the viewers some of these photos because they're just very, very touching. With Cape Breton CBRM, and I'm hoping you guys can see those there. Here we go. I'm hoping you guys can see those there. Maybe in the comments to the side, viewers, could you put up if you can see those photos? Because it's my first time sharing photography, so I really hope that. Cees, can you see the photos on your end?
Yep. It would be nice to have.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Definitely. I'm quite far away from it as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I know. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to go through some of these. So there's the looks like the fire department lit up in blue. Wow. I think I popped on the well, I'm going to have to show those later because I think I paused on the wrong photos he has. Oh, there we are. I see them now. Okay, I'll bring that on after. Let's talk, Cees, to yourself tonight. And you've been doing something, a really positive beautiful community initiative there. I mean, all of us want to do anything to help. Can you tell us a little bit about what you've been doing?
Well, basically, I've just been offering a mail-in tribute service. So where we're not supposed to be coming out to the community, actually a local politician has put a plea out that people, give the folks of Portapique a little bit of room. And I totally get that people want to come out and pay their respect. But there's been a steady stream of traffic, especially on the nice days and the weekends. So that's kind of wearing on a lot of folks. They can't get down one of the main roads anyway, but still, it's just stop and go traffic all weekend long. So anyway, I'm asking people to send in their letters and show their support that way for now. Eventually, when things slow down, we welcome everybody back again. And if you want to send us a card, I'm trying to get it there. That's actually the address you can send it to. And I have made racks, and I'm willing to put up more if need be. But you can send your cards of condolences and tributes and stuff like that. And I will post them right in the center of Portapique, in front of the old church.
Nice. Now, is there any that you can share with us tonight, Cees? Any?
Well, I have a bunch here that I got. I'm actually I haven't put any up for a couple of days. Somebody suggested, and that's the thing about this whole thing. It's all just kind of unfolding. So somebody suggested, well, it would be really nice if we could turn them into a scrapbook or something. So I tracked down a laminator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to laminate each one of the cards so they can be out in the weather for a little while. And then the plan is that we hopefully get enough of them. I'd like to see, 1,000 plus, so we can make up some nice scrapbooks for each one of the families. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. And what are you noticing? I guess what I want to share, what I'm noticing is I've never witnessed anything like this in my lifetime. And to be on that community page where the team that you are part of, to watch the organization and how efficient you guys are with everything that you must be handling at a volunteer basis, plus having a family and everything else, like it must be very exhausting at times. But yet you guys are managing to connect with the right, people and leadership, and they've got, fundraising set up, official fundraising set up. Any comments you want to add to that, Cees, what you're noticing?
I'm a small part of a phenomenal group of people that have stepped up. There's a whole team of people, and they're all volunteers. They all have families and day jobs, and they are moderating the group. We're trying to keep it all positive. So at one point we were getting 35 posts a minute. So you have to keep everything. You have to go through the comments, right? There is reported comments, stuff like that. So there's always a group of people sitting on top of that, ready to go through posts, remove comments that don't really have a place there, stuff like that. But man, what an amazing group of people.
You also, I watched the video that one of the nurses that deals specifically with grief, and she was so down to earth herself. She's been helping as a resource with grief for years in her career. And even this is testing her ultimate, the core of her. I don't know how to express that, but it's testing everything about her career in terms of helping in this situation.
Absolutely. I talked to Serena Lewis. Maybe that was the same one, but she is from our community. She lived just a few miles down the road in Bass River, and it was really hard for her to sit at home and talk on the phone. People need that, or that human connection. So it's it's really trying for so many people in various stages. yeah, it's there's a lot of grieving going on.
Yeah.
And yeah, tricky times. Wow.
And I thought that was a good point you brought up, because I noticed that today, and would like to reiterate that to viewers and get that out to the public, is that the county is asking definitely for privacy, because they've been, obviously a lot of visitors are coming to the community with the best of intentions. But yet at this point, it's also important to give the families a breathing space and time to get through this. So I just thought it was phenomenal that you came forward, Cees, and set this up so that there was someone to accept these cards that one day the families, or are reading right now. What a great initiative. And I just want to thank you on behalf. I know my kids are making up something to mail. So thank you for doing this. And is there anything else you want to add? It's a very, very hard topic for me to discuss, in terms of the details, but I like to focus on the positive and what's coming out of this. Is there anything else that you notice positive in light of all this?
It's heartwarming that, like here, I just opened one. It came from Salmon Arm, BC. Like, that's pretty much as far as you can get in this country. It's the first card distance.
Yeah.
Previous to this, Ontario was the furthest. So it takes a while to get through the mail. But yeah, I can't wait to see where they all come from. I'd almost like to get a map and put a little heart where each one came from. Yeah. I should have 20. I should have 22. Or 22 maps, but yeah. I have a whole basket here.
For sure.
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, sorry. There's a bit of a lag, I guess. Yes, this one came in a box, and it's really cute. It has all the little hearts on it, and I'll try to. It has a name of every single person on it. So that's sweet. And I have to cover it with plastic or something so it can handle being outside a little bit. Because we'd like to keep a bunch of them around for the families down the road. Right? That when they're ready and they want to look through it if they want to, we want to have something there for them. So this won't fit in a scrapbook, but we have some pretty creative folks that want to help with this. So yeah, this one came from Salmon Arm, British Columbia. Kind of fitting, has salmon on the front. And these glasses are not very good for reading. Although the world is very full of suffering.
Same as mine.
Sorry? Yeah.
Same with mine.
Okay. Although the world is very full of suffering, it is also full of the overcoming of it. Helen Keller. I didn't know she said that. Our deepest sympathies, Kathy and Barry from Salmon Arm, British Columbia. And there's a lot of them that are quite, there was a really nice one that I got a couple of days ago. And I'm trying to think of the name of the lady. I don't have it here. It's at the church, but yeah, it was a lady, and she put her age on it, age 90. I thought that was really sweet. I'm just gonna bear with me here for a second. I'll open this one up. This one I haven't seen. This has kind of turned into a nighttime ritual, opening up all the different letters and stuff. Okay. This is from St. Joseph's.
I'm going to put you on a solo case. I'm going to put you on a solo screen for a minute so that the viewers can see a better image. I'm still here. I'm just going to put you up. So you just give me a sec here. There we go.
Yep. Here's one from St. Joseph's Parishioners in Ile Madame. Wish to offer sincere condolences sympathies and our prayers and love to all surviving members of the families affected by the tragic acts of the recent past. We join other Nova Scotians in denouncing acts of violence and pay for peace. May God bless you and keep you safe and healthy. Robert Fougier, St. Joseph's Council Rep.
That's where I live. That's Il Madame. Wow.
Well, yeah, so you probably know Robert then.
I do.
You'll have to excuse my pronunciations.
That's okay.
But it was until a little while ago, nobody would really know how to say Portapee. Okay, let's see. And here's another one. Oh, another one from British Columbia. This one's from Vancouver. I guess British Columbia is fairly well represented right now. And let's see. I should have read these before because I'm not used to the penmanship. Dear Sir, thank you for organizing and receiving our expressions of sympathy. I add mine to the tens of thousands of people who are grieving with you and your neighbors, wanting somehow to ease your pain. I pray that with time and help you will be knitted back as individuals and as a community to stability and balance. At your core, you are very strong and resilient. Okay, I see. At your core, you are strong, resilient people, firmly rooted in goodness. God bless you all. Sandra Marshall, all the way from the West Coast. It's really, yeah, like I can't wait till some of the local people get to leaf through these and read them. I think it will really mean a lot to them.
Yeah.
Yep, there's one from Prince Edward Island. I hope we get some from different parts of the world too. That would be, because I had a friend in Korea that had heard about it, which I thought was quite something. The other side of the world. Love and prayers to everyone. From Lisa and Stanhope. There's one. And then I also got the big bubble wrap envelope full, and there's one addressed to each of the families. I'm not in direct contact with them, but a local church, they are accepting mail, so these are for the families. So I'm not going to open these. These would be, I will pass them on to the church, and the church can get them to where they're supposed to go. I end up getting mail for the families directly, so anything like that, it gets passed along. But if anybody does want to mail something directly to a family member, the Faith Baptist Church in Great Village, I don't have their address or anything, but you can mail to a family directly.
Yeah.
That's the same one. And this one is from, I'm not sure where it's from, but it says, "You are not alone" on the back. I can't see where the postmark is. There's the card. That's one thing I noticed. We're getting lots of folks that are making their own cards. Quite a few people include newspaper clippings, or I've received quite a few different photos of Portapique and the surrounding area, and people are including those, which I thought is a really nice thought. People are including memories they have of Portapique. Lots of people would have fished there, or went to the beach, or had ties 40 years ago. stuff like that. So it's really nice and touching.
Yeah.
So this one came from.
I'm going to pull up a picture here.
Yeah.
Case, I'm going to pull up a picture here of the Portapique church that you purchased and what you're doing. So there's the church there in Portapique, viewers, and there's where the tributes are going up. So it's a beautiful, somebody mentioned it today, saying what a nice idea that someone's done this. They said thank you to Case for creating this space for people to pay tribute to the precious lives lost. So that was really nice. So there it is there. But yeah, no, Case, we still have a few minutes. So please feel free to keep going because this is very, very touching. So I'm just going to let you go ahead and take my voice off for a minute.
But I have extra supplies that if I need to make more, I will make as many as it takes. If I need 10 of those up there, I'll put them up. Yeah, so keep the letters coming in. And I'm glad that snow is gone. Oh. This one is from Deborah and Glenn Roberts from Prince Edward Island. A place of healing. Our condolences and prayers go out to your community. May each individual learn to cope and adapt in healthy ways through the vial of darkness and loss and sorrow. May the cast of light. Sorry, I can't quite make that out. Sorry. Yeah. May the morning sun remind you of your community and that love is. Yeah, I'm not sure, but it's a beautiful message. I'm not very good at reading in between the lines without actually, yeah. Anyway, it's pretty sweet. Delightful communities, precious relationships, may the light shine again. This one's from Hampton, Prince Edward Island. There's the card. From across the pond in PEI, we wish all Nova Scotia our heartfelt blessings. A former Nova Scotian, now transplanted in PEI. Pat and Kathy O'Connor. Nice. That's one. I'm not sure. This one is from Nova Scotia, Musquodoboit Harbor by the, yeah, that's what it says on the back. Was it yesterday or the day before? I got somebody made a cross stitch, and it had the province and the flag on it. It was quite sweet. Do I have that here? Yeah, I don't think I have that here right now, but it was quite sweet. I haven't received any cross stitches yet. Here's the one from Musquodoboit Harbor. Hoping that with every day that passes, you are able to think of them with more smiles than tears, knowing that their memory will always live on in you with deepest sympathies. Thinking of all those affected, all of you are in our prayers. The Witten family from Musquodoboit or Musquodoboit Harbor, I'm not sure. Here's the little cross stitch. I thought that was quite nice. Somebody took the time to make that and then mounted it with the nice tartan in behind. And it reads, "To all the victims, their families and friends, and to all Nova Scotians, we wish you strength and love. Our hearts are sorry for your loss. As Islanders and Maritimers, we feel very connected to Nova Scotia, and we love Nova Scotia and its people. It is our favorite place to visit." And that was from Bob and Margaret Messam, maybe, from, I can't make that out, West something PEI. Sorry, I'm not familiar with all the communities, but anyway, I thought that was really quite sweet. And somebody sent a couple of editorials. Yeah, it was a sad bunch of them. They were very well done, but man, they really hit the nail on the head. Here's one that I opened earlier with the Cardinals. We do see some Cardinals around, which is quite nice. "To the families, friends, and the people of Nova Scotia, my deepest sympathy, knowing that you are in our thoughts and prayers. Friends from Toronto, the Hartman family." Yep, so that was one from Ontario. I thought this was quite nice. I opened a couple of these. There's 2 cards right there. There we are. I'm not used to the camera, so they're both from a long care facility in Yarmouth, and they sent a couple of cards, and a whole bunch of folks left their own little messages in it. There's one. It reads, "We are a long-term care facility in Yarmouth. While reading the paper during coffee talk, we noticed your article. The residents wanted to send you love and let the families know they're in our thoughts and prayers." So we have 2 of those. I thought that was really, really nice. And I can't wait for everybody else to have the chance to see them.
So in closing, Case, is there any, we want to put up, I'll put up your address in the comments, or maybe you want to do that. If you don't mind, after you pop off this broadcast, if you could just go to the comments and post the mailing address that people can send things to. And then Case will take those. And if you want it to be completely private just for the families, you can request that as well. Or if you don't mind that it goes on the wall or is shared, just let Case know.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I want to wish you some rest and rejuvenation for the days ahead. But thank you. Thank you very much for doing what so many of us wish we could be doing as well. But thanks for being a channel, a portal that we can utilize to heal and walk through this together.
I'm honored to be able to do that. And I'm happy to do it. I wish I could do more, really.
Awesome.
Great. Thank you.
We all do. And thank you. Have a good night, Case.
You too. Thank you. Goodbye.
And that was Case from Portapique, Nova Scotia. He has opened up a property that he purchased, and he's putting up the tributes from all around the world for the families in support of the aftermath of April 18th and 19th. So we're just getting ready here for our next show, our next broadcast, which I'm thrilled to chat with Mayor Cecil Clark of CBRM, and also as a nice chat we're having on Fire Chief Michael Seth to the program tonight. So we're going to chat with him. He's the fire chief there in CBRM. So we're just going to give this a moment and some space in between here, a moment to just fix our screen. Viewers, please feel free to put your comments on the side. I want to make note of Vanjie Beal. Thank you so much for doing this. To Case, that comment went out. Mary DeVoe, my condolences. And we'll just get ready for the next broadcast. Thank you very much, viewers, for watching, and we'll be up shortly. Stand by. All right, well, we're going to get started. Get ready for the next show. We just had a little technical difficulties there with getting things set up, but we're back. Before we bring on Michael Seth, I just found a really neat article that gives, I love sharing a little bit of biography about somebody, especially coming to Cape Breton and the role they play in Cape Breton. I find sometimes that it just helps, helps us navigate who is doing what in different areas. And sometimes there's so many people doing things that don't often get the acknowledgement they should get. So anyway, I found this really nice article. Cape Breton Regional Municipality announces the hiring of new Director of Fire and Emergency Services, Michael Seth. Mr. Seth will begin his new role November 18, 2019. That wasn't too long ago. And joins the CBRM from his most recent post as the Fire Chief of the County of Brant in Ontario. Michael Seth is a Six Nations of the Grand River band member. He's a graduate of Lakeland College in Alberta with a bachelor's in applied business and a focus in emergency services. Mr. Seth is a second-generation firefighter, starting with Six Nations when he was 14 years old. He was instrumental in the creation of the Six Nations Paramedic Services as its inaugural manager and held the position of Fire Chief and Community Emergency Management Coordinator with Six Nations Council. Having extensive experience in fire chief roles in municipalities in Ontario, Mr. Seth joins the CBRM from his most recent post of fire chief for the County of Brant. I look forward to working with the municipality, the Fire and Emergency Services Department, and the many community volunteers. Seth commented about his new role. I'm grateful for this opportunity and will work with our partners on service levels while ensuring our number one priority remains the health and safety of the public and first responders. CBRM Chief Administrative Officer Marie Walsh added, "We are thrilled that Michael will be joining our team of directors and want to offer him a warm welcome to Cape Breton. He brings extensive knowledge and experience, and we are very pleased with the outcome of this hiring process." So Cecil Clark is just coming on shortly, so we'll just give it another minute here till we have both gentlemen on the screen. And thank you for putting I noticed, by the way, our broadcast prior to this, there's Case. He put up the address if you'd like to mail any tributes to the Colchester County. So he's put that in the comments below. You can send your cards or tributes to me, and I'll put them up in the heart of Portapique. So let's give this another moment. Thank you for your patience, viewers. The beauty of live media. Uncut, unpolished, just from the heart, and chatting with folks in Nova Scotia this evening. And we'll just give it another moment. Stand by. Well, we're going to go ahead with Michael Seth here. I'm going to bring him on screen with us. Hello.
Hi there. How are you?
Fine, thank you. There's a delay, a little bit of a lag. So if you hear me make noise after you've said something, I'm not speaking over top of you. It's just there's a little bit of lag in our discussion. Cecil's going to be on shortly. For some reason, his computer is making him download the app again. And I love when they do that at the last minute, these apps. Anyway, how are you doing, Michael?
Oh, I'm having a blast. It's been one of the best moves I've made in my career. This is a great place to be.
Isn't it? What do you love about Cape Breton? What are you enjoying about Cape Breton?
Well, I always make this joke when I meet new people. 25% of the reason why I signed on the dotted line was for the seafood. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
And when I'm coming in this evening to do this, I was actually when I left my house, there was a couple of deer that were standing there, and my kids were enjoying the view.
Yeah. It's one of the bonuses. It's beautiful. I live in Ile Madame. We haven't met of course, yeah, this is our first time actually visually meeting here on the broadcast, which happened. I mean, obviously, it's virtual connections everywhere right now. So thank you for coming on tonight. Now, you were hired back in November, and needless to say, as a first responder and as a fire chief, I'm sure that what's been happening lately in Nova Scotia tears at your heartstrings. Give us a little bit of insight as to what each department would encounter or go through upon hearing of another, tragedy or concerns. So just kind of connect us with what you guys are going through.
Well, with COVID happening right now and the tragedy that happened in Port-au-Prince, it's been very, I guess, surreal and very strange. As a first responder, and growing up in this industry with my dad being a firefighter and retiring as a captain, first responders are typically the first line of defense, and we're usually front and center when we're dealing with a community emergency. And this type of an emergency that's happening right now, we are sitting back and waiting to see where we're going to be best used and how we're going to be utilized within our communities. So it's definitely different. It's very slow moving, and thankfully, what we're seeing is everybody's involvement and ensuring that social distancing is happening, and they're listening to Dr. Strang's orders and messages, and we're flattening that curve.
Yeah, and I had a note sent in from a viewer. They're dealing with a ton of, you guys are dealing with some burn violations of the burn bans and increased traffic. How has this affected you and your volunteers and staff? What can citizens do to help first responders? And how are you dealing with the added stress right now?
Well, my management team and myself, my deputy chiefs, we put out a request to all of the departments, the volunteer departments, at least once a week, just to ensure that a check-in to make sure that everybody's been dealing with this. If there's any struggles, we have different resources that have been made available through, whether it's through employee assistance programs, whether it's through local help, whether it's through insurance companies, but we have access to that stuff if they're needed. So we're sort of keeping an eye on what's happening. When it comes down to the fire burn ban, we have to remember that the burn ban is issued provincially, and we are trying to promote that because we want to keep our first responders home, and we want to keep them safe, and we don't want to get them involved in unnecessary responses that potentially puts them in harm's way with the virus that we're dealing with.
Yeah, makes sense. I just want to do a sound check with our viewers. Alex the Caper said there's no sound. So viewers, if you wouldn't mind, could you let us know if you can hear the broadcast okay? Just put in the comments. Alex the Caper just put no sound. If you could kindly just put in the comments if you can hear us, that would be great. So we'll just give it a moment here. I'll just actually post. Can you hear the broadcast? Oh, good. Kim McDonald says, I can hear. Got sound now. Great. Okay. Thank you, viewers. Thank you very much. And the beauty of Wi-Fi in Cape Breton, I don't mind. I'm still very proud to live here and very grateful. So there was one other question too. Let's see here. Oh, I think you answered it. What are your thoughts on how people can social distance while still providing help to those vulnerable and in need? Nova Scotia has shown an incredible amount of support for first responders after the tragedy of April 19th. Is there anything that stations need or help that citizens could engage in?
There really isn't much that's been brought forward to me locally. I know that some of my peers and counterparts in Ontario have reached out to see where they could send um, condolences, or they can send care packages, stuff like that. So I'm trying to connect them with with the appropriate locations. Um, Locally, I think we're getting by. We're working together. We have an open communication system, so that's actually being very, very helpful. It's difficult when I'm new coming into Cape Breton and I'm trying to get my feet wet and meet everybody that I can, and now I have to social distance and have to cancel some of these different meetings that I was having scheduled in place. So it's an interesting time for me.
It is. Is there any updates on the increased wages for first responders? Have they received any words, and are they included in this? Do you know?
There's nothing in Nova Scotia that I've heard at this point for first responders. I know in Ontario specifically, they've identified that, and they've included the first responders, specifically the paramedics, because of their direct involvement with the patient care. So I haven't heard anything that's happening locally. So, but as it comes out and anything happens like that, that'll definitely be communicated.
Now, I always like asking this question. What's the first thing you're looking forward to doing when we come out of this?
Interestingly enough, we had this conversation at home over supper tonight. And one of the first things that I want to do is I want to go see a movie.
No, yeah. A real movie at a theater.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for coming on tonight. I think I just got an email from Sheila that they are having technical difficulties getting Cecil Clark on. Cecil's been absolutely great for coming on with us. Is there any closing words, maybe, Michael, you can give us with regards to CBRM? It doesn't have to necessarily be, about, being a fire chief, but any closing words you want to share with the viewers that are watching this evening?
Well, it's been fantastic given the status of society today, that myself and my family moving into Cape Breton and being taken in so warmly and being welcomed by everybody that we've encountered has been fantastic. And the support at CBRM through Mayor Clark and all the senior staff and the staff here has been phenomenal, allowing us to be a part of the community, but also making my job a lot easier in the transition of coming here. And I'm looking forward to many years of being in this role.
Nice. Well, thank you very much for coming on, and give Cecil our regards. We look forward to hearing from him again when he can pop on and connect us with anything new in your region. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You as well. And that was Michael Seth, Fire Chief of Cape Breton Regional Municipality. So, viewers, thank you so much for chiming in tonight. Sometimes the shows are rather bland and hard to communicate. Sometimes they're not prepped, they're not prepared, they're literally off the cuff chat. And I think that there's a lot of benefit to that. There's transparency, there's truth at the table, there's concerns, people get a voice. So we see this as being a positive initiative so far. We're very grateful at Ripple Effects that people are starting to utilize the program more as another platform. And so we encourage you, if you have any suggestions or input that you'd like to get into us, please don't hesitate to contact us. 902-305-7833 is the office number. And we love taking input from anybody. So thank you very much for watching this evening. I want to acknowledge our viewers on here that put in some comments. Kim McDonald, Alex the Caper, Wade Guthrow, Mary McIntyre Cormier, watching from Sydney Mines. Let's see who else is on here. And all those that are just joining us now from the Colchester community page. I can see your names there, and thank you for watching. So coming up next is a really awesome, uplifting, positive, fun show. It's called The Guitar Show, and it's done, and your host is Dylan DeVoe from Sydney, and he's going to have on tonight music artist. I love the artist he's bringing on tonight, John Hines. He played at the Groundswell, where I work, the Groundswell pub in the summer. And John is like blues, a genre of blues, and oh my goodness, just really unique music. Well-known East Coast Atlantic music artist. And so they're coming on at 9 o'clock with The Guitar Show. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and have a lovely evening.